Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show. Wow, whew, it is November already. I can't believe it. So, those of you who haven't heard, we're slightly changing up the format a tiny bit here. So, the last little while, the news thing we've been doing for a while. So, it's actually interesting. Let's go back in time. So, originally, the weekend live stream, it started out as actually, it started out on Saturday night. It was called Saturday Night Live Stream. Generally, it was me and a guest. It was me and a guest. So it's usually me and a guest. We just talk about whatever the topic is. It was fine. It was fine. But at the same time, honestly, it was hard finding new guests. I had the same rotation of folks coming through all the time. Although nowadays, it'd probably be a lot easier if I wanted to do something like that. We're not going back to that. That's the past. That's the past. So what I did from there is I decided to go solo. And going solo, it's like, okay, so you don't have anybody to feed off of. You don't have that other person to sort of, you know, you can have a drink while that person is talking. Or you can just let that person talk it while you're thinking about where you want to go next. So I thought, you know what? Let's just do it solo. Let's go solo. Let's figure out what we can do, what kind of content we can bring. So obviously the news, everybody likes the news. So that's kind of where the whole news thing came from. So, and I still like the news. I still like the news. And the news is still going to be a part of the show, just not the way it used to be. So anyway, going back through time, we did the news. It was kind of split up a little bit. Then I added pictures to it, and then you guys will all remember the beavers. The beavers came along. We still have beavers. The channel members, they actually have little beaver emoticons there next to their names. So we still have those. Obviously, the subscribe thing on the videos, that's still a beaver. I like that beaver. So that beaver's sticking around. But I've been struggling with the news for a while, trying to figure out a way that I could fit it in that worked right. So what was it, 3 weeks ago, month ago, roughly, I thought, okay, let's just do it as an opening monologue. Well, that was an idea, and it didn't work. It kind of felt awkward. That would have worked if I pre-filmed it. Pre-filmed and pre-edited it. That way there, if I make a mistake, I can just remove it out, or if I forget to bring up the pictures, I can add them in post-production. So that's another thing. That's another thing that I certainly could have done. But I just thought, you know what? Let's free flow for a bit. Let's see what we're going to do with this. I think we'll still keep the title this week. I like that. We're still, of course, going to talk about any news things that I think is relevant to investing. And here's the other thing, the whole political thing. We're going to talk a time. This will be the last time today we probably talk about politics. But I found that the news was getting a little polarizing. Because some of the stories. If you're on the right, you're like, oh my God, that liberal government. If you're on the left, it's like, or oh my God, look at the criticism. So I kind of didn't want that dichotomy within the chat. So one of the best ways, I think, to it's hard for me to say to you guys, don't talk political. And at the same time, I'm dropping political stories. Really? Does that not make me a hypocrite? Kind of does. In my mind, it does. So anyway, we're dropping the news for now. I'll bring whatever content comes to mind. You guys will have full control over the show, pretty much. So we can jump into your questions right away. We can do whatever you guys want. We'll figure it out. Somebody had asked me to do a review of their portfolio. And I was like, yeah, I can do it. Absolutely. But you got to reach out to me if you want a portfolio review, guys, and I'll do it on the Sunday shows, only on the Sunday shows. But if you want it, you got to be hooked up to me on Blossom. So if you're looking for me to comment on your portfolio on the air, simple. Follow me on Blossom. There's a link down below. Actually, here, let me drop in a link here for you. Blossom. Anytime you want links like this, most of my things, you can just type this in and the Nightbot will come along and give it to you. So yeah, if you have not yet followed me on Blossom, follow this link. If you haven't even checked out Blossom, follow this link, download it, get yourself set up. A couple of things I will point out. There are some people who are like, I don't want Blossom to connect to my portfolio. You know, concerns, security. Okay, I can understand that. I can assure you one thing. It's the access that, and right now the only ones are, I think, Wealthsimple and Trade are the only ones that that we have access to, at least on the Canadian side. It's read-only access. So even if we, even if we were to, even if like, well, not me, but if the head of Blossom, let's say Brandon Beavis decided to go all nefarious, there's nothing he could do. He could look. That's it. That's all he can do. So it is really safe. It really, really is. But here's the thing. You don't even have to hook up your thing. For the 0 to 100K challenge, that's hosted on National Bank. And then National Bank hasn't provided that read-only access yet to Blossom. So I manually enter in what's in that portfolio. And that's fine. If you want to do it that way there. And here's the key thing. You need to message me. Give me a heads up. Say, hey, can you look at my portfolio on this Sunday show? And when I say message me right on Blossom. Like there's a direct link there that you can message me. I'll look at that. And then I know, because I don't want to do it cold. Like, if you just pop up right now and say, hey, do my portfolio, I might do it, but I don't want to. And the reason I don't want to is because I would like to at least look, because there's a lot of stocks out there. There's a lot of stocks. There's a lot of ETFs. And invariably, you might have one in your portfolio that I'm not super familiar with. So if I have the heads up, I can, on a Saturday afternoon, I can just take a quick look at it and I can check and say, oh, I don't know a lot about this one. Let me look it up. Let me find out. That's the reason I ask you guys to do that. So anyway, yeah, we'll start doing stuff like that as well. Now I have another, oh God, I've got this really stupid idea. It's a really, really dumb idea. Like, it's a bad idea, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I was watching some Twitch streams, and a lot of times on the Twitch streams, if you, they've got things like, I got like the bits and things that you can donate. And I was thinking, what if I created like a super level where if you donated a certain amount on a super, I would have to do something. And I was like, maybe that's not a bad idea. Now, the one thing that I've had requested more than once is you guys seem to really like it when I suffer from hot sauce. So I still got a full bottle of Da Bomb. Now, guys, don't start throwing supers right now, because I'll tell you, I've been thinking it over. I've been mulling it over. Like, what level of super would I want to have to go through that? So it's something I'm thinking about, and it might be a bad idea. It might really be a bad idea, but I like to mull my bad ideas out in public anyway. So what can I say? The other thing I want to mention is, guys, how the banana bread did the Jays manage to lose? I just want to put that, out there. How did the Jays manage to lose? So as you know, I said if things were on the line, I was going to be there. I was there for the last couple of games, and oh boy. And I got to say, there's a little bit of bad luck in there. Like, quite literally, last night, inning number, what was it, 11? The Dodgers got ahead. They got a solo home run, And the Jays did everything right. They did everything right. They got the leadoff double. They did a sack, or actually it was a bunt. They did a bunt to get that double over to third. And the guy was trying to do a sacrifice fly ball to get that run home, tie it up. And then then at least if it's tied, you go to the next inning, fix it there. If you can't get more. But I mean, the guy's bat breaks, and it ends up ruining the shot. I mean, basically, it sends the ball pretty much into a double play, and yeah, that's it. That was it. Season done. Bye. So I still love the fact. I mean, they were last place last year. They had a really good run, but what can I say? All right, guys. I've been saying too much without looking at the chat, so let's get in here. Let's get caught up on what you guys are saying here. Bismarcky, top of the hour. Happy Sunday, everyone. Absolutely. Actually, it's a great Sunday. I got an extra hour of sleep last night. Well, basically, no, I didn't, because I stayed up an extra hour because of the extra innings. So it kind of worked out. But what can I say? Claude says, hello, can we go back in time 2 days ago and try again at the World Series? I think it stings more than if the Dodgers would have won in 4 games, but congrats for the Jays for the amazing season. Yeah. Like I said, I had my sign. My sign was blue for the Jays all week. So I wish they could have done it. But, maybe in 32 more years they might pull it off again. I don't know. Let's I heard something about I don't even know what his name is. The one whose name sounds like Boba Fett. I heard he might be leaving, and he's one of their best players. So they could struggle next year a bit. I think they'll still be good, but they won't be good enough, I think, to get to the World Series. So we'll have to see. I hope I'm wrong. And I don't know a lot about baseball, so I could be very wrong. Prairie says, good afternoon, Candace and community. Happy Sunday. Glad to have made it to another this week. Good to see you. Always good to see you. We've got Cowboy in the house, and we got John with a good afternoon. Convos with JJ. Howdy, everyone. Apparently, the podcast me and JJ did, I think it's coming out next week. I think JJ mentioned something to me in a private message, into a message. Well, every message is private, I guess, if it's a messenger. Lisa's in the house with a good afternoon, everyone. Let's see, new podcast episode released on my channel. Hope you all enjoyed. And I have not yet had a chance to see it, but I'll have to check it out. I'll have to check it out for sure. And there's a link, guys. Watch it after the show. Watch it after the show. Michael is in the house with a hey. Happy in here with a hello, JJ. And Philly saying good day, y'all. Love it. All right, Roku Stittsville, happy Sunday, all. What's in store for the budget? So yes, the budget. That's going to be our big thing on the 4th. So that's what, Tuesday? I know a lot of people think that every party says they're going to vote against it, but honestly, I don't think so. Here's where I'm going to stay. And I know, even though the NDP said they're not in favor of this budget, they don't have a leader. They're broke at the same time. They don't have a leader. They're broke. They can't afford an election. They're in no place for an election. So no matter how much people dislike this budget or other parties, it will get through. It will get through. We will not have a vote of non-confidence on this. It's not going to happen. All right. A Prairie says, love and miss the Beavers. Yeah, I'll find ways to bring the Beavers back from time to time. Don't worry. We'll have like maybe one day we'll have like a Beaver-tacular, something like that. Brian says, good afternoon, everyone. And we got Mary in the house with a good old hello. And guys, if you don't know who Mary is, she is our official captain of the like button. So when you see Mary, she's your reminder to click that thumb, turn it blue, drive in a run, or sorry, I'm still in baseball mode. drive in the algorithm so it maybe it passes us out a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. I'm gonna have some coffee here while you guys are busy doing that. Oh, so good. Oh yeah, and well, you see, Jill's added some pumpkin spice as well as some ginger to make it gingerbready. It's kind of like a hybrid gingerbread pumpkin spice, but it's really good. I'm enjoying it. Cowboy budget, a concept super banker doesn't understand. Kev B is in the house with a happy Sunday. Zenial, happy November. Hopefully it's green. Interesting comment. I will tell you. I will give you my prediction. Now, let me just preface this by saying I was. It's actually interesting. I wasn't actually wrong about October. It looked like I was going to be really wrong. My prediction on October was that it was going to be flat, but on the green side. So mostly green, but not that far, not that deep into the green. That's kind of where I thought October was going to go. And we got there. Not in a straight line, that's for sure. It was kind of it was kind of a volatile nation for sure. But what do I think is going to happen in November? All right, first half of the month, I think is going to be flat, flattish. There may be some volatility in there, but overall, by around the 15th of November, I think we'll probably be a little bit to the green to where we are leaving of September. Sorry, October. And the second half of the month, the second half of November, we're going to start to see, well, we're going to see a small retraction. So I think November will end on the red side of the blue line. I think it'll be down a little bit. Why? Why? And that's a question. I'm actually, the next 0 to 100K, that's kind of the explainer part. But hey, you guys are here. I want to just talk about it anyway, so I'll talk about it. Tax loss harvesting. So a lot of people hear tax loss harvesting, they start thinking about December. They think of those first couple weeks of December when a lot of those institutional investors are selling off a lot of their, a lot of their stocks to basically help with some of their capital gains on their better stocks, and reduce. That will of course reduce their overall tax bill when the tax time comes up, and at the same time, it frees up capital so that they can redeploy. And that's the Santa Claus rally, which starts towards the end of December and goes into the beginning part of January. So a lot of that Santa Claus rally is some of that money, tax loss harvest money being deployed. But here's the thing. One of the things that people don't realize is tax loss harvesting it's not all in those 2 weeks. It will begin, some institutional investors will start in about the middle of November. So by mid-November, we'll see a little bit of pressure to the downside from tax loss harvesting. But, and here's kind of why we get that big wrap in December, is by the time we've had 2 weeks of that, the retail investors, they start looking at it and saying, oh, there's trouble. We better start selling. And or tax loss harvesting for some who do that. So once you get the institutional plus the retail in that big chunk in December, that's when you start to see some of the bigger drops. But we will see, I think we're going to see some drops definitely at the last half of November, and we'll see some in December. Now, there is one other thing that's kind of an interesting thing too, when it comes to settlement. So we used to have +3. So +3 was our settlement, and that meant that, it'd take about 3 days to settle. So for that reason, tax loss harvesting needed 3 business days before the end of the month for us to, for things to settle. Because if it settled after the end of the month, you don't get to use it as tax loss harvesting. It goes on to, in this case, 2026. Now, we have changed from +3 to +1. So settlement is now T plus 1. That means that technically, you could tax loss harvest all the way up to about the 30th of December. Now, I don't like to cut it that close personally, because even if it says T+1, I don't want to take a chance if I'm using it for tax loss harvesting. So I probably would cut it off. I would probably still cut it off like maybe the 28th, 29th at the latest. Now, mind you, I need to look at a calendar, because if the 28th and the 29th happens to be on a Saturday, okay, not the 29th, and, oh, sorry, I'm looking at November. Let me get to December. So yeah, the 29th for me would be where I would probably cut it off. The 29th is a Monday. So I would say the 29th of December is a better one to do that with, for sure. But anyway, all right, let's get on. Let's move on. That was a tangent time. Rory says, November 4th, pull the fire alarm. Yeah, I don't, well, yeah. Cowboy says we can't afford firefighting. Oh, boy. And I'm a little nervous of what the real number is. And I've said this before, guys. To do what we need to do infrastructure-wise, it's going to cost money. And I'm okay with that. But I need to see some movement on that infrastructure front. And quite honestly, the first group of companies that they had announced, they were a little underwhelming. I mean, they were good projects, but they were already well into the process. Like, even without them being fast-tracked, supposedly, they were still pretty much towards the end, and they were going to happen anyway. So the next batch is supposed to come out by the Grey Cup. I don't know when the Grey Cup is, and maybe one of you guys knows. I think it's November sometime. But those are going to be the ones that I'm going to judge. I will judge them based on those. I want to see something good. I want to see at least one really good project in there. All right. Brian says, I'll do my own review on your behalf. Why do you own so many stocks and ETFs? The older stocks are paying a higher yield on cost, but I am evolving away from them. All right. So Brian's going to do his own review. Doing your own review. You know what? Everybody should be doing their own review. That's part of the whole due diligence thing. Like, it never hurts to look at your portfolio and ask questions like, why am I holding this stock? What does this give my portfolio? Is this the right choice? How is my diversification? Or this is what I love. What will this portfolio look like in a downturn? Because those are all good things to consider, for sure. All right. Claude says, will you make a move with Meta? For myself, I bought a bit past Friday. We'll see if it drops further this week and buy more if it does. All right. Perfect. Claude, that is a awesome question, because it ties into one of the things I did want to talk about today. So guys, here's Meta. You weren't expecting that, were you, Claude? But yeah, I already had Meta keyed up. So one of those things, you guys, those of you who know, I love playing earnings days. I have made lots of good swings on earnings days. I have a couple rules, though. One, I need a company with good fundamentals, because if I don't have good fundamentals and things go south, they might stay south. A company with good fundamentals does tend to bounce back. Now, this is Meta. I want to talk a tiny bit about what happened with Meta. So first of all, earnings-wise, let's pull them up. As you can see, they really missed. Well, yeah, it was a big miss. They missed by 84.38%. That's massive. That's a massive miss. Now, revenue, they actually did beat 3.50%, but they missed big time, and this is what happened. So if you can see, they were sitting at $747, and they, at one point, they were down, they dropped immediately to $650. Now, Meta has very good fundamentals. They've got very big moat. So the channel members already know all about this, because, well, they were, I let them know. Like the channel members get I will send them an email for all of the swings that I'm doing. And so they get that. Well, it's not an email, sorry. It's on the community tab. And I think the tab itself might send an email. But yeah, so I let them know. So what I did is now look at, I will say one thing right now. Meta's expensive, right? If I want to do a swing trade on Meta, to make any money, I would have to buy a lot of Meta. I would have to invest a lot of capital into that. And I'm not about to do that. So I do the next best thing. I bought the Meta CDR. So the Meta CDR, what is it? I don't know, somewhere's around $40, something like that. Okay, I can do that. So that's what I did. I bought it pretty close to the bottom. So somewhere's down in here, I bought, I bought a big chunk of the Meta CDR. And here's the thing. I know that's going back up, and it might go back up. I mean, it will get back up to at least 700 at one point. I wasn't going for a long term. I have this thing. I like to make, a specific amount on a swing, and then I'm happy. I don't mind, even if it's going to continue to go up. I'll use a stop loss because maybe I can ride it up higher than my target. But in this case, I bought down here, and my target was up. It was basically up in about here, just before the screen, the top of this green candle. And yeah, so I just rode it from here up to here, and my stop loss got triggered because there was a bit of a retraction somewheres in here. I was happy. I made a little more than my target. I was perfectly fine with that. And now I'm really glad because, after that, they went back down. So right now, yeah, Meta is down. I might buy back into Meta again and do a second swing on it this week with them being down here. Looking at that, I'm like, yeah, to me, that's a really good candidate. Another swing trade I made as well in the last week is, we'll go over here to Tesla. So here was Tesla's earning call. You can see they actually gapped down, but they rose back really fast. Now Tesla had been falling. So they had fallen down in here. So they were down in here when I opened up this trade. And then there was some news that broke about robo-taxis. I think it was in China. There were some deals. And I was like, oh, that's kind of positive. That's probably going to give them a little pump. So I bought in somewheres down in here. And it did get it got a pump. I hit my, I didn't quite get to my target because I threw a stop loss in, and it ended up coming back down and hitting my stop loss, but I made enough that I was happy with that swing. Now, of course, that one is not so much off of an earnings call, but I gotta say, sometimes you can do really well with earnings. Now, coming up this week, we got a couple of earnings, interesting earnings that are coming out. So one, you guys all know I got that Air Canada swing trade that's in the challenge. Air Canada's earnings are dropping. I think, is it Thursday? I think it's either Wednesday or Thursday. That could be interesting. Now, I don't think they're going to exceed expectations. I don't think they're going to beat on revenue. But they are one of those companies that if they make an announcement in their earnings, in the actual call, it can drive them up. So could we see that swing trade come to an end? I actually am hoping against this one. I would like to keep them low for longer because, especially in the challenge, I'm adding more shares every month when they're low. But this is what happened. The last couple of times the earnings call pushed us way above the targets, and those swing trades ended up closing as a result. Now, that's one. There's a second one that I'm a little bit interested in. Cameco. I think, Air Canada's on Thursday, and I think Cameco, is on Wednesday. So Cameco, guys know Cameco, our uranium company, the uranium company from Saskatchewan. And you know what? I'm going to come over here for a second. I'm going to pull up CCO. All right. Now, CCO has been doing absolutely fantastic. Now, don't mind this big jump that happened because of the deal with them in Brookfield. Don't worry about that. That's not even going to come into play because it happened after that quarter. So the quarter had already closed before that. But just take a look. They've been on a tear the whole time. So are they going to have good earnings? I think they might. I think they might. So even though this has happened and we got a little bit of a retracement on this, we could see a pump. We could see a pump on Wednesday. So I'm gonna look and kind of get a bit more in depth on this, but I might make it. Now, obviously, I'm not going to buy that 143. If I do a swing on this, I'll probably grab maybe that Harvest Enhanced one. Just ride that up for a day or two, to see what happens. So I'm thinking about this one too. So this is on my radar as well. Just something I'm keeping in mind. All right. There we go. At least now we hit the title. We hit the title. I like it. I like it. All right. Freakin' is in the house. Afternoon, Candace and chat. Hello, Freakin'. How are you? Rory says Stellantis employees got robo letters from management, 10 billion going to the U.S. Ah, boy, yeah. I don't know. It's not fun. Cowboy, the real number is not real. Printer is running on steroids. Inflation is going to be extra crazy. Yeah, good old inflation. Let's see. Candace, careful what you ask for. That's right. And that's in regards to that idea, that bad idea I have, guys. The bad idea. Roku says, do I have to hold onto my seatbelt for your really bad idea? Probably. I don't know if I would hold on to my seatbelt, but I would maybe have a tissue because it might be funny. It might be funny. Careful, Candace. You could be a skydiver. I'm not gonna dive in the sky. Yeah, that's just something. It's like, yeah. I just don't. I don't think I'll ever do it. I don't think I'll ever do it. Rory, the Carney curse lives on. Let's see. Even the Leafs won last night. Oh boy. Yeah, the Leafs. Oh, what can we say? Yeah. Well, on the bright side, I mean, Toronto is used to losing, so it's not like it's going to be a big shock, but nonetheless, yeah, I really wanted the Jays to win. Now, first the Oilers, now the Jays. I know. And Zeniel says it seemed like a lot more than bad luck that everything that could go wrong went wrong. Yeah, I heard a few people saying that even that the umpires seem to be on perhaps a mission to make some bad calls. I did hear there was one call. There was one call where the runner was forced. Well, yeah, they had. I think the bases were loaded. The guy was running into home. It would have won the game for them. It would have won the series, but they called it out. And according to some of the replays, it almost looked like, he may have been safe. He may have been safe, but that's just from what I saw. And once again, I'm not an expert, guys. I am really not an expert on baseball. Rory, Leafs won, but Tanev was stretchered off. Yeah, well, speaking of the NHL, I mean, the number one scorer in the league right now is actually one of the Montreal Canadiens. Who would have guessed that? But it's early. It's early in the season. Cowboy. So QQQ, C Day, or S Day. What a choice. What a choice. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. I think. Oh boy. I mean, I like all three, but if right now at this moment, I would probably just grab S Day. I think I would just grab S Day at this moment, but Yeah, I think I would grab Estee, but I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about my personal diversification and where I could use more. I think Estee would fit better at the moment. Bismarcky. On the bright side, Rogers will save money and not having to buy World Series rings. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Rory says Utes looks close to a buy, waiting for $9. Ah, yes. Um, yeah. Yeah. Let's actually look. Let's take a gander here. Good old Utes. So another one of our Evolve. All right. Oh yeah, look at that. Down a little bit. Sitting at 926 and a half. Yeah, they're down a little bit for sure. But yeah, hopefully you get to your 9 here. And it is a possibility because right now 9 does look like, well, I don't know. 9 looks kind of like a level of resistance, or a level of support, but also up here around a 910, 913 might be another place. So, well, hopefully you get there. Hopefully you get there, Rory. Claude. Let's see. Now I won't be able to think about Bo Bichette without thinking about Boba Fett. I know, I know. Well, when I was listening, right, and every time they mentioned Bo Bichette, I was like, "What? Boba Fett's at bat?" So, yeah. What can we say? Jack is in the house with good afternoon. Rory says, I had a Boba Fett action figure as a kid, lost it. Actually, funny story about the Boba Fett action figure. The very first ones that, I think it was Kenner. Was it Kenner? I think it was Kenner. The very first ones that they had released, and apparently, if you watched the ill-fated Star Wars holiday special, they had a small little cartoon skit of Boba Fett in there. And then apparently there was also some kind of a thing where you could pre-order a Boba Fett, and it actually had a little missile on his back that could launch. But very quickly, those ones were canceled and they replaced it with one that couldn't launch because it was a choking hazard. But if you had one of those Boba Fetts with the missiles that launch, I bet you could get a lot of money on eBay for it. So just, it's a different type of investment, right? Cowboy says, Utes is a good one for me. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Jack says, all Carney has to do is agree to keep giving out free taxpayer-funded hard drugs. Oh, boy. All right. Let's we're going to jump over here to King of Day saying, hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. NDP had a leader. They had a greedy thing. All right, 13 likes from my end. Really? Is that it? Is there only 13? Oh, guys, come on. Hit the like button. I'm going to have some coffee. Although, I do notice with YouTube, sometimes you have to refresh it to see the number of likes. And guys, if you don't have YouTube Prime, so in other words, if you watch commercials on YouTube, don't refresh it because you'll probably have to watch commercials again. But yeah, if you got the YouTube Prime or whatever it is it Prime or Premium? YouTube Premium. If you got YouTube Premium, then you can refresh it and you're all good and you'll see the number. All right, let's see here. All right. Let's see, referring to the tax loss sellers. Let's see, hoping to pick up some stocks during the tax loss dips. Yeah, that's exactly kind of what I am thinking about. I'm thinking about when it comes to buying next month. I think a lot of the money I'm going to deploy, especially in the challenge, will probably be in the second half of the month. All right, Morley is here from Vancouver Island. Nice, nice. A lot of great communities on Vancouver Island, from Victoria to Campbell River. I think that's as far north that I know is Campbell River, but I'm sure there's more communities further north than Campbell River. But Bismarcky, maybe a Canadian team will win the Grey Cup. there's a good possibility on that. I think Canada's heavily favored to win the Grey Cup this year. Heavily favored. Cowboy says our infrastructure money is being sent to other countries. Well, we don't need that. We need shovels in the ground here, not in some other Bananaville in some banana republic type country. Let's keep the money here. No, Trump will send a team north to steal the cup away. um, Maybe. Actually, no. If it were made of gold, he'd be up here, and he'd be up here really fast. But I'm pretty sure the Grey Cup is not made of gold. Cowboy, they may melt the Grey Cup to pay interest on national debt. Oh dear. VOO is too expensive for me, so I have to buy the poor man's version. There's a lot of cheaper ones that do the same thing. So nothing wrong with that for sure. All right. Marley says, Candace, do you have a % gain in mind when you enter your swing trade? It's not even a percent. Usually what I like to do is I like to make about $1,000 on a trade. That's kind of where I sit. Like that's what because it has to pay my bills. It has to pay my bills and everything. So, but I will make smaller trades, or I will abandon if I have a trade that, like a lot of times, I come in with a couple of goals. For one, how long am I willing to sit in this trade? Sometimes it may be a short term, sometimes it may be a long term. So, for example, I have an Air Canada trade, a bigger one, not inside the challenge, but in my trading account. That's a long term. I'm willing to sit there for half a year, and that money is fine. It can sit there. But sometimes I will get into a smaller trade, and one of them was the oil situation. So, as you guys may have heard, I was listening to the news in the middle of the week, and apparently Gaza shot at Israel troops, and they were talking about a big retaliation. I'm like, uh-oh, the ceasefire may have just ended. So I jumped in immediately, and I bought, I think it was 1,000 shares of ETF of XEG, which is an oil ETF, because I'm thinking, okay, this might have a chance, even if it's just riding the wave of fear, people being afraid. But it just didn't happen. It never materialized. It could have, and a lot of times it would have, but this time it didn't. So I ended up getting out the next day. I think I got out at like a $25 profit. And that's fine, because that was designed to be a short trade. It didn't work, and I got out with a profit. So, I would rather get out with a $25 profit than with a $25 loss. That's for sure. But yeah, for me, it tends to be, because I go in and I kind of play it like a lot of the trades that I make, I'm looking for that, for that stock to go up by about $1. So I'm looking for things that are going to move pretty darn quick. Oh, there we go. So yeah, it's more about, it's about speed. Now, I could go in like when I used a day trade, I wouldn't be looking for longer trades. Like I wouldn't be looking to make $1 on every single share. I would be, I could be looking for 10 cents, 10 cents. But I would be doing a lot of them. So there'd be a lot of short-term trades where you might make $100, $100, $100, $100, that type of thing. But yeah, so that for me, it comes down to money value, and I don't always hit, because a lot of times too, if I get sometimes I will, as I'm moving towards a target, I'll drop in that stop loss, so that way there I've locked in some profit, and sometimes it will retract further than I'm expecting, because I normally keep a little bit of a buffer zone between my stop loss and where the price is, to so for reasonable retracements, but sometimes it does retrace a little bit too far. And sometimes my stop loss does get hit, and I end up selling it a little bit short, but I'm not worried about it, because normally I'm still making, some money when that happens. All right. Michael says, hello, Candace. Did you notice the bounce in Acon on Thursday? It went as high as 34 and then descended, but is over 30. I did not. I was not watching Acon at all on Thursday. Thursday, and I will point this out, Thursday is a day where the first half of the day, I am editing. So the video, so I basically, I film Thursday morning. I edit right away. I get it out to the channel members for Thursday afternoon. And then it goes live for everybody else on Friday. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of time to watch stocks on Thursday. A little bit of time in the afternoon, but I didn't notice anything with Acon, unfortunately. Jackie says, hi, Candace. I picked up CCO last week. Looking good. Notice some immature political bashing going on in the chat. Let's keep the channel positive and stop the bashing. Yeah, guys, and that's what I'm saying is I'm going to try to jump over. I'm going to jump over a lot of that, the political stuff. But yeah, that's one of the goals that I have. It's one of the reasons. It's one of the deciding factors, too, for removing the news, at least in the format that it's at now, is, just to try to keep us focused on, on finance, Let's see. Or if you do want to get political, just do it respectfully. Like, I don't mind. Like, if you disagree with Carney's policy, you just say, I disagree with Carney's policy. I think it's a bad move. Perfect. That's without actually, getting in there and calling them a bunch of names. I'm not really policing what you guys say, but I'm going to try to jump over anything that is kind of questionable like that for sure. Let's see. Brian says, Utes yield is over 17%. It seems to stay in a range. I have 554 shares, so that's not bad. I tend to throw my spare dividend change at the and buy a share or two all the time. Okay. Michelle says, sell-offs in December, wait until last week to make investments for the year, or do it at the top of January. Well, here's the thing, okay? Let's just put it this way. If you're looking to buy, so you're looking to take advantage of the dip, you probably want to do that in December, when the prices are still depressed from the stop loss harvesting, because a lot of times, and this is the Santa Claus rally, a lot of the investors who sold off things, a lot of them start buying right away, like first week of January, they're buying. Some even at the very end of December, but because of that settlement change, it might be closer towards the first few trading days in January. We'll probably see some higher volumes. So that wouldn't be the best time to buy because, well, you're going to pay more. So yeah, if you've got the disposable income and you're looking to purchase, I would be looking mid-December. That would probably be one of the better times. So mid-December going up towards Christmas, I think in that zone there, we might see some better deals. But at the same time, and I'm going to put this out there, we've got this giant gingerbread man to the south who kind of runs things, and he has a habit of depressing the market very, very deeply. So if one of those comes along and you're sort of saying, oh, well, I'm holding this money for tax loss harvesting, I wouldn't. If Donald Trump were to do something that creates another big dip, take advantage of it for sure. Because you're probably going to get a better deal then than you will get with tax loss harvesting. Lisa says, would you be willing to share some of your long-term holdings with us? I'm always willing. I will point out. So yeah, there's a couple of things. And I know Roy says that I have it on Blossom. So what I have on Blossom is the 0 to 100K challenge. I then have a trading account. Now the trading account, pretty much the channel members have a good idea what's in that because they get to see all of the different swing trades, and that's pretty much all swing trades. So that's where most of my money is. Most of my money is into that swing trading. I got a little bit on Wealthsimple as well. That's more or less At this point, it's more or less when somebody uses the Wealthsimple affiliate link, they get 25 bucks, I get 25 bucks. It just stays in there. I think the other day, I actually I bought a tiny bit of gold, the commodity, because you can buy commodities now on Wealthsimple. And of course, after I bought that, I was like, I wonder if I can buy uranium. So I might have to move a tiny bit over there to see if I can buy some uranium, because that'd be kind of cool. Something tells me I probably, I don't know. Honestly, actually, I don't know. I don't know if I can or not. But yeah, that's the most, like, most of my stuff right now is, it's used for the trading, because that has to meet all of the bills. And then there is the stuff that's in the challenge as well, that you guys can sort of look at the challenge. Outside of those, there's not really anything else out there. At one point, a lot of the money that's in the trading, that's being used right now to trade, a lot of that used to be in my old TFSA. And I used to share that back when I had it. But now that's all being used for trading, because the reality is, if you use a lot of money to trade with, it's easier to make. It's easier to at least make ends meet. That's that's the words I'll use for that. All right. Yeah. So yeah, the main 0 to 100K is over there on Blossom for sure. Michelle, what is your take on RNCL? Worth a longer term hold? All right. Oh, I already got it up here. All right. Let's see here. RNCL. Let's take a look here. Here we are. So Global X, equal weight, Canadian telecoms, covered call ETF. So I'll pull up this here. It has done well. It has done well. Now, I am going to point one thing out. I'll point one thing out. I've been down the last year, probably 2025. I haven't been super friendly to our Canadian telecom system. And well, with good reason. With good reason. We had a lot of issues, and it's not all their fault. One of the big things is that the rollout to 5G, a lot of people were like, oh, that's done now. Well, it's done, yeah, in the cities. It's done urban. But they were still doing this year was mostly rural rollout, but that costs money. So that money is coming out of it's coming out of their cash flow. And because of that, that really didn't help matters at all. But here's another thing that isn't helping matters either, is that where do you expand to when you pretty much already have the whole country? So there's that. I mean, basically, it's more or less they're just sort of moving customers back and forth, shuffling them around. People leaving Bell, going to Rogers. People leaving Rogers, going to TELUS. All of that fun stuff. So, oh, excuse me. Oh, there we go. That's much better. So for all those reasons, yeah, I've been kind of down on them. But now we're starting to see some things change. So Rogers has been doubling down on their sports assets. We'll call it sports assets. Bell and TELUS have been doubling down on AI. Which one's going to pay off the most? It could be interesting. Well, if AI turns out to be a bubble and it pops, well, then Rogers wins. But I don't think it's a bubble. I'm thinking it's not a bubble, but it's bubble-like. There's definitely arguments on that. So yeah, so getting back to RNCL, this is a good sector for volatility. Volatility is good for covered calls, and in this case here, you're looking at, look at this, 13.286%, and right now you are getting growth. And as you guys know, one of the things I have been very adamant about with covered calls is that if you have a covered call in a bull market and it's not growing, then it's not a covered call I'm going to hold. I need to see that growth in a bull market. Obviously, if we're in a bear market, yeah, sure, it's going to go down. The underlying assets are going down. So yeah, I certainly use that as a measuring stick for sure. This is a new one. I think it's not a bad one if you want some exposure to the telecom. What's nice about it is, as the struggles that are still there. They're still there. They're not over yet. But as the struggles persist within the Canadian telecom system, that's not a bad thing for the covered calls. So that does help keep the income on this nice and high. So yeah, it's not a bad one. It's not a bad one at all. Hello, Lord Fubar. There we go. Kev says, gotta go. Catch the rest later. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, Kevin. Isn't Trump a political comment? um, yeah, it kind of is. It kind of is. And this is the thing, guys. I'm not saying no politics. I'm just saying respectful politics. So, and I guess I called him a gingerbread man. So, yeah, all right. That's bad. Bad me. I will. You know what? I will not make fun of Donald Trump. I'll be respectful to Donald Trump because that way there. I'm doing what I'm preaching. I'll do what I preach. All right. Claude says, I've noticed that my portfolio tends to move more and more towards covered calls and regular dividend ETFs, much less so towards growth. It makes me more comfortable, but I'm still learning and figuring things out. Yeah. And you know what? It's always going to be a learning process. And here's the thing. A lot of you who are newer to income investing, who are newer to covered calls, you're going to learn a lot when we move into the next bear market because, the bear market can shake things up a bit because right now it's pretty much like gravy when you got your income coming in and you've got some value, your ETFs are getting more valuable. It feels a little bit different. Now, I will point this out is that when we do go into a bear market, the underlying assets are going down. So are those ETFs. But sometimes when everything is red across the board, it's kind of nice still getting that income coming in. And, a lot of people, like, if you look at somebody like Adriano, I mean, his kind of philosophy. Oh, I just realized most of my head is covered by Claude. Claude's message. Okay. Maybe I need to put my circle in a different spot. I don't know. Or just pull that message off for the moment. But yeah, so what I was saying is, his philosophy has always been to just sort of double down when when the market's low. And that's not a bad philosophy. But at the same time, you always have to, I always say math is your friend. Like, look at the math. Look at that potential growth. And it doesn't, in some cases, like, it doesn't hurt to, to go more defensive, especially if you're really feeling it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with going more defensive. All right. Brian says, I think political comments about market moving things are fine without attacking the person. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, those are fine. Like I said, if you disagree with Carney, just say, I really disagree with Carney. And it's even okay to say, I think this budget is not that great. That's fine. All of that fun stuff. I was going to say Lord Fubar. No, Lord Fubar. There we go. They sell gold on TD. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah. And I think it's a good idea. I like the idea. And I know a lot of you guys do use Wealthsimple. So it's nice to be able to just buy some gold, to buy different commodities. And I haven't looked yet to see what all, well, you know what, guys, we got the internet here. I don't know if there's a list, but let's just take a look here. Wealthsimple commodities. All right, let's see here. Why does everyone care about commodities all of a sudden? All right, I don't care why. I just want to know what you got. I want to know what you got. Come on, guys. Really? Could you, at least tell me? All right, I'll click on this link here. Maybe. All right, let's see here. What is margin? What is an ETF? Candlesticks. Well, they got some good stuff here, but all right. I think I need to shake up what I searched for. Wealthsimple commodities offered. Let's try it this way. Okay, all right. here's what AI says. Apparently, it's only physical gold. All right. Yeah, you can buy it as little as $1. I just discovered that too. All right, that's fine. That is, and apparently they're holding physical gold bullion. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Now, hopefully they expand beyond just beyond just gold. Like I'd like to see at least bring in your big minerals like your silver, maybe platinum, palladium. I really want uranium, but that's never going to happen. I know that's never going to happen, but I can still dream. All right. Lisa says, I bought some physical gold this week. So not on Wealthsimple, like just actual physical gold. Nice. Claude, I'm going more monthly distribution than quarterly now that I'm older. Yeah. Well, it's that whole psychology, right? It's nice to get the money coming in every week, especially if you're using it. Like if you're in retirement and that is income that you're using, yeah, having it come in every month is pretty good. And honestly, some of the newer funds you can even get it every 2 weeks. Well, roughly every 2 weeks, like twice a month. So yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Scratch says, hello, Candace. You can look at SPUT for physical uranium. SPUT. Let's sputter over there. I had to do it. All right. Okay, let's see here. Well, let's pull that out of the way. So let's see. Innovator Equity Premium Income Daily Right Put. What? All right. How does this have to do with uranium? Let's see here. No, it's not really telling me what they're doing here. All right. But that's because it's Innovator Equity Premium Income Daily Put Right ETF. All right. Are you saying Scratch? Are you saying that they actually have physical uranium? But maybe there's another SPUT. I just want to see if there's like a Canadian SPUT. No, I'm just getting that US one there. All right, give me a second here. Let's just go to Google. And let's go SPUT ETF. I know, SPUT. It's trying to tell me something else, but let's see here. Sprott ETFs. Okay. It's Sprott Uranium Trust. Is this it right here? This might be it. Interesting. Yeah, SPUT. So the world's largest physical uranium fund. Wow, TMX really had that name down wrong. So I don't know why, but hey. All right. Yeah, so yeah, physical uranium. I like it. All right. And that's why, guys, sometimes if you're going like TMX, like I love TMX money, but yeah, they're the company that runs the TSX, and they're really good with Canadians. But sometimes with US stuff, they can get, especially if it's not mainstream. Sometimes with non-mainstream US stuff, it can get a little wonky. And that was a case. There. It was telling me some kind of an options type situation. So maybe they use options in here, or maybe they, or here's a question. I mean, how long has this one been running? Because sometimes people will, or management companies will reinvent a ETF and use a name that they had used on something else before. So I don't know what the situation here, but anyway. Cowboy says, I'm liking the bi-monthly dividends. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Let's see. The telecoms have finished with CapEx on 5G network. Okay, perfect. Well, I knew that they were supposed to be finished this year, so I like that. That's good news. That's definitely good news because that will certainly help with their cash flow. Michael says, millions of people in the U.S. not getting food stamps, that all retailers' earnings going miss big like ACI, KR, TGT, DG, DLTR. Well, that one's Dollar Tree. I know that one. Walmart and more than even Amazon will get hit hard, then laying off 14,000 people. Yeah. Now, if I remember correctly, guys, I want to just look at, oh, that was the Discord. We have a Discord, by the way. All right. All right, let's take a look. I don't want to go, actually, I want to go to the US one here. So guys, Amazon also talking about earnings. We were talking earlier. They had a really good day. Their earnings, like they went from 223 to 244. So that's a nice, huge jump there for Amazon. Their earnings came in pretty darn good. Actually, let's pull up their earnings over here. All right. All right, here we go. Let's add Amazon. Boom, here we go. So yeah, here is their earnings right here. And so they beat on earnings by 24.34%. They also beat on revenue by 1.27%, but still pretty darn good. Investors definitely liked it. You can sort of see the big gap. You get a big gap like that, you know it's pretty much, excuse me, it's pretty much earnings. It's pretty much earnings most of the time. All right. Trump influences the macro. Yeah, sometimes he does. Bismarcky, you don't need to make fun of Trump. He does a good job all by himself. And Mark Elaine says Trump is transformative, certainly for volatility on the markets. Cowboy says Trump's Liberation Day made me a lot of money because of the panic. Yeah, I mean, Liberation Day, if you had money that you could deploy on Liberation Day, oh boy, you made some huge profits for sure. Trump is making millionaires into billionaires, 100,000 heirs into millionaires. Yeah, in some cases, but who's paying that price? That's a question I like to ask. Valveman says, I invest in AME and Agnico Eagle Mines Limited. Yes, I do like Agnico. And that, yeah, we found it, Scratch. We found it. All right. Lisa says, yes, actual physical gold from Silver Gold Bull 2026 kangaroos that I had to pre-order. Should get them in a couple of weeks. Been wanting a gold kangaroo for a while. Now I'm pretty excited. Holy cow. And the nice thing is with that, I bet you the price will just be hopping. Oh boy, that was bad. Rory, TMX changed a few things I noticed. They sure did. They sure did. Valveman says, I invest in AEM, Agnico Mines Limited for gold, CCO, Cameco for uranium, and ASCU for copper. You got, that's good coverage there. And I'm, I mean, gold, uranium, copper, I think they're all going to do really, really well. So I have no complaints about that. Michelle says, appreciate you, Candace. Next time. Okay. And Larry's in the house. Bought Meta 2X ETF, METU on that drop Friday. Nice. Nice. Now, here's that question, Larry. Did you get out before it went back down? So, or are you still in it waiting to see? Because I think it's still going to come back up. So I'm probably going to get in for a second round this week on Meta. Let's see, Scratch. I looked at the 1 kilogram gold coin on Silver Gold. Put my payment, but my payment was denied. Oh God. 1 kilogram. All right. I need to know. All right. Oh boy. Oh God. I don't know. I don't know if I want to know, but I need to. All right. So you said that you were looking at it on a Silver Gold. Oops, Silver Gold. 1 kg gold coin. All right. Let's see here. Let's take a look. 100-ounce bars. We'll go into gold. So we're looking for that 1 kilogram. 1 kilogram. That's a. Do they really sell? Are you yanking my chain, or do they really sell 1 kilogram coin? See. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I haven't really. I don't spend my days in here looking. Let's see. Gold. All right. Here, let's do it this way. Gold. 5. Oh, here we go. 1.2. They don't have a kilogram in here, guys. But let's see what their most expensive is. We're going to go to 5,000 plus. 1 ounce of pure assorted gold. Yeah. Oh boy. A 50-gram gold bar for 9,000. 100-gram gold bar. That goes for about 19,000. 100-gram gold bar right there as well. That one's 18,000. Let's see. 10 ounce of pure assorted gold, 57,000. I don't know how much you actually get with that, but that's interesting. Oh, here it is. Oh, check it out. 1 kilogram gold bar, $185,361.71. Scratch. Come on. Tell me. Will you just short the 71 cents? Because I might be able to spot you 71 cents. Just asking. Just asking. All right, Cowboy. We are all paying the price. Look at your bills, food, utilities. Gas is down at the moment, but it will rise again. Yeah, gas will definitely be coming up again. Okay. Let's see. I bought it an hour before close, so it was fine last time I looked at it. Okay. Fair enough. Rory says, I bought a box of Jane's chicken nuggets at No Frills for $6.84. Yeah. It was at 209,000. Okay. Well, this one's a better deal. It's not a coin, but it's a kilogram gold bar. Gold nuggets, not healthy, but I don't care. No problem. All right. Let's see. If this deal with Fubo goes off, it will be a early Netflix. It will spike up to 30 overnight, and it has a great good revenue, and it will be the biggest in its game, Fubo and Disney. That'll be interesting. I haven't been watching the whole Fubo thing a lot, but yeah, it could be very interesting for sure. And I probably should be looking more into it. I agree. I should be. Let's see. Cowboy, I'm having pizza tonight with real ham, cheese, pineapple. Nice. Pizza. Ordering Indian food. All right. All right. Let's see. Looking up Perth, Australia mint 1 kilogram coal. Really? All right. Oh boy. It's not on this site, right? I just have to Google it. Is that what we're looking at? Let's just Google it. Why not? Perth, Australia. All right. Perth, Australia. And what is it again? Mint. 1 kilogram gold coin. All right. Let's take a look and see what we got. Uh-oh. Oh, that's a big coin. Yeah, let's see here. Kangaroo. So Lisa will like this one. Maybe this is the one Lisa bought. I don't know, but oh boy. Yeah, accept all cookies, fine. Look at this. This is a beautiful looking coin. A red kangaroo on it, 2025. 99.9% pure gold. How much are they going to give us a price here? There's the 1 ounce. I don't want the 1 ounce. I want the I want this baby here. Let's see here. You can only purchase this through customer service, so I imagine maybe they discussed the price with you there, but it's not telling me the price on this. Special order. But look at that. That's a beautiful coin. That's a beautiful coin. That's a big coin. But yeah. Now, mind you, I don't think you could really take it out with you to spend, but wow, that is pretty cool. Let's see here. Oh, there's another view, and there's the back is that King Charles? There we go. There we go. Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right. Let's see. Football is biggest in its category sports. It'll be globally the biggest, and that's why it's an early Netflix. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, I don't watch football, but I know it's big. It's huge. Lisa's making pizza. Let's see. It's good eating. Yes, and that's the one we just looked at. That's not the one that, like, did you get the 1 ounce one? Like, they also have 1 ounce ones down here. So yeah, here's like a 1 ounce, and it doesn't actually tell me how much it is. Now, mind you, if it gave me a price, it would probably be in Australian dollars, maybe, but here we go. Let's click on the 1 ounce and see if it gives me anything. Oh, that one's kind of cool too. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know how much any of these are on this. Oh, well, well, apparently the platinum one is 2,595 Australian dollars. And I'm not sure the exchange rate between Australian dollars and Canadian dollars, but yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right. What about what about gold press latinum? Let's see. Ferengi is a long way from here, though. Yeah, or Ferengihar. Is that the name of their planet? The Ferengi planet? Let's see. I wish I could afford that kangaroo. 2 ounces was expensive enough. Okay, so did you get a 2 ounce coin, 1 coin, or two 1 ounce coins? I'm kind of curious here. Michael says, what companies are safe to buy now if anyone see any in the US? For me, once again, it's gonna come down to fundamentals. I think Caterpillar, I think they're a good company. Only because, you've got infrastructure projects as well going on in the US. I think that's gonna put a lot of business towards Cat, and I think they're a safe bet. I think they're one of the safer bets for sure. Cowboy, you could wear it like like Flavo's, yeah, Flavo Flav's clock, but it's a big gold coin. Oh boy. And then he has kinks in his neck after a day of wearing it because it's so heavy. No, the prices are in Canadian. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Well, for some reason, it was showing me AUD after the price, the one that I could see a price on. So, but that one was in Australian for sure. But anyway, so sorry, you were looking on the Perth Mint site now. Never mind. Two 1 ounce coins. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. All right. Rory says, I bought an ETF that holds ExxonMobil, Chevron, Lockheed Martin, AT&T. That's not too shabby. That's not too shabby. I mean, these are all blue chip companies, obviously. I mean, Exxon, I mean, they're one of the biggest oil companies in the world. So, well, what can you say? They're huge for sure. And Chevron is pretty big as well. Lockheed Martin, when you start thinking of defense, they're in there. Defense, air, all of that fun stuff. And AT&T is pretty cool. Cowboy, Cat makes its money on replacement parts. Steel on steel wears out quickly. That's a good point. That's a really, really good point. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Kind of like if you think about HP. And I know this is a completely different thing, but HP, they make very little money on their printers, but they make all the money on the replacement ink. So I wonder if it's similar to Cat. Maybe they don't make a lot on an excavator, but they make a ton on the replacement parts. It's an idea. It's an idea. That's an interesting thought too. John Deere parts. Now, John Deere, I know that they actually have is it a farm? I think it's a farm tractor that is run by AI. I remember watching something about it a while back. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that's absolutely really, really cool. Oh, we go big screen now, since we're not technically looking at the gold coin anymore. Somebody probably tuned in for a second and said, "Uh-oh, are they trying to sell me 2 gold coins if I send them one?" No, we'd never do that. Cowboy, green part cost more for sure. And Larry, I'll tell you, my 5 big buys for the next 2 years are Nucor, POSCO, Bayer, Scorpion Tankers, and ArcelorMittal. Take note, save a check on these names in 2 years. All right, you know what? I'll do one better. I'm just gonna do a little screenshot of your comment here. Bang, there we go. And now I'll have to take a look. But yeah, and I will admit, a couple, like, all right, Nucor sounds to me like I'm thinking nuclear. And you know what? We'll go down the rabbit hole on Nucor. Let's take a look here, because I see that. I think it makes me think nuclear, because a lot of times companies will name themselves very much in the same way that, here, we'll go over here. We'll see if we have it here. Nucor, here we go, Nucor, here we go, Nucor Corporation. There we go. All right. Oh, let's see here. Before we even look at what they do, I want to take a look at the 1 year. Let's go to the 3 year as well. All right. So, so from this, it's not super exciting looking, but if they're nuclear, I'm getting excited really fast. No, they're not. Steel and steel products. Let's see here. Let's see, iron for steel mills. All right. Well, once again, though, with tariffs, with all of the tariffs on steel, where are Americans going to get steel? They're not going to get them from Canada, not with the tariffs. They're going to look inward. So a company, a U.S. company that specializes in steel, that's kind of an interesting play. And yeah, within the next 2-3 years, as long as the steel tariffs are in place, that could throw a lot of business their way. So if you look at it from that perspective, yeah, I can definitely see it. All right, a cowboy says most farm equipment uses GPS, to steer. So yeah, interesting. Aurora, yep, Case does that too, I imagine, and I know what a case is. It's like a miniature payloader. And the reason I know what a case is one of my first jobs at a university was testing water. So I used to have to go to a solid waste site to get all these samples. That was my Monday. Monday was sample collection day. And so I used to just hike all over the site getting my samples. And one day the foreman on the site said, do you think you can drive that? And he pointed to it was a case. It was actually a case payloader. I was like, well, I don't know, maybe. Is it hard? And he's like, no. And he gave me just some basics. And so he let me drive this little payloader over the site, which saved me tons of time. And it was fantastic. And in fact, I had so much extra time, I went into the scrap metal yard and I used the bucket to crush fridges. So that was fun. I don't know why, but it was. Now, I will point out, these are fridges that the Freon had already been removed from, so I wasn't creating an environmental issue. But yeah, so anyway, that's why I know what a case is. So there we go. Cowboy says, didn't Scorpion Tankers buy Brookfield's tanker fleet? Good question. Larry, do you know? Because I don't know if they did or not. Prairie, most products these days are manufactured to either be replaced or repaired, not like in the day where products were made to last. Yeah, products today are not made to last. Like quite literally, the slippers I buy. So I buy a pair of slippers in the winter because it gets my floor gets cold. But they'll last one winter. That's it. One winter. I need to buy a brand new pair every single fall. And quite literally, I just bought a pair, and this is like, I think I got them about 3 days ago. So yeah, absolutely. Cece, I think Bitcoin will now just sit and wait for Supreme Court tariff decisions. Yeah, I'm not expecting to see a lot from Bitcoin this week. I think the fall is pretty much over. I think we're gonna have a bit of sideways movement in the coming week. Let's see, Larry. It's that last part of the Trump-Japan-Korea deal. We are rearming Japan and Korea, are making our nuclear subs, destroyers, and frigates. Yeah, that's huge. That is absolutely huge. So, and that's the thing. I mean, why is Trump rearming Japan? It's not really about defense. It's about the fact that America can sell all kinds of stuff to them. All kinds of stuff. And yeah, if you're looking in the right spots, if you're looking where this stuff is going to be sourced from, there's investing money to be made for sure. Tariffs are on Canada, not other places. With the steel and aluminum, I think it's everybody. I think that one's on everybody, unless there's some kind of a deal that, and I don't know every single deal, but if you don't have a deal, then you have that tariff, at least on steel and aluminum. Larry says all shipbuilding is moving here. Let's see, front end loader rides, $5. I love it. 300 billion is going into shipyard upgrades in the USA managed by Japan and Korea. Nucor makes most of the barrels, 5% of armor. Anchor makes 95% of the metal by the Navy. Okay. Interesting. You've definitely put a lot of thought. And Larry is very successful at what he does, guys. So, you know, I trust a lot of what Larry says for sure. All right. POSCO will be providing the metal for our resupply and helper ships. Okay. And there we go. And that makes up a lot of your list. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Oh my gosh. So yeah, guys. What can I say? What can I say? Whew. So let me pull. I'm going to pull up things here. There we go. There we go. Wanted to go big screen again. Wanted to definitely go a big screen again. I'm trying to think. Now, guys, every year at Christmas, I do something special for the channel. Now, last year, I went a little crazy. Last year, I did that Vlogmas. I'm not doing that this year. That was a lot. That was a lot of work. Holy banana bread. Those little live streams every day, I was like, oh boy. I'm still going to do something this year, but I don't know what yet. I don't know what. It's going to be probably a little bit lower key this year, but I'm working on it. I'm still working on it to figure out what it is I want to do. So I do want to do something, but I don't know what it is yet. So that's going to be fun. The next conversations, I still have not yet. I meant to reach out to, I was thinking about Perry from PI Verse, bringing him over, but I still have to reach out to him. I still have to reach out to him, and I probably should do that like sooner than later. I just have to, I think I was waiting for, I think I had asked if JJ could send me, you know, his message or his messenger or something, but anyway, I'll find out. I'll just use the link on his YouTube. We'll get that going because I'd like to see that as well sooner than later. And I do have to. I'm in talks. Once again, I'm also in talks with Evolve to do a interview with their CEO. So they kind of want some. They want me to pre-submit the questions. So I've got a few of them. I'm going to work on those as well. Try to get those over to them early this week. All right. Larry says only 2 companies are approved to make metal for ships from the Navy. From how Trump's talking, he wants us to be able to go back to 1 naval ship a day. That's a lot. That's a lot, but yeah. Oh boy. Cowboy, when is the 0 to 100 coming out? So, if you're a channel member, tomorrow. If you're not a channel member, then you'll see it Tuesday. So it is the next video. So the 0 to 100K, like I actually scripted it today. So it is all scripted. It's ready for filming in the morning. Let's see. The deal with Fubo and Disney will most likely be a deal 99%, 1%. It won't go off. Big money has been moving on it. That's why I'm giving you the information. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You know, and I'll look at it because it sounds interesting. It sounds interesting. Like I just haven't looked at it yet, so that's why I don't have a lot to say on it. Because I like to try not to talk about things that I know nothing about. But I like the sound of it. I do think there's potential in what you're saying for sure. And here I'm going to take a screenshot of this comment here just to make sure I get around to taking a look at it as well. All right. And oh, not a SST again, a penny stock ticker. So yeah, might be a runner coming days. Keep your eyes on it. A lot of talk about it. Yeah, and you know, we've looked at it. We you know, we'll go back in. We'll go back in. Why not? ASST, here we go. So there we go. Let's, all right, so this is a Strive, and I'm going to pull up the 1 year. So yeah, I mean, it's a penny stock that has had a little bit of success. It's come back down a bit, but it'll be interesting to see where it goes. And once again, this here is a Bitcoin treasury company. So yeah, you know, their goal is, of course, to outperform Bitcoin over the long run. They're not there yet. They're not there yet. But it'll be interesting to see. And I think, actually, I think Strategy also had the same goal. And they were doing it for a bit. They were outperforming Bitcoin for a bit. But part of the way they buy more Bitcoin does involve share dilution. So that's one of the reasons that Strategy sometimes doesn't hit the mark completely. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I'll certainly, you know, I know you're going to bring it up again. I know you'll bring it up again, especially if it starts going up. But yeah, it could definitely be interesting for sure. Patrol Pioneer, RRBBAI AISP. Oh boy. Well, let's take a look at RR first. Let's see. Rictech Robotics. Oh, interesting. I like robotics. I think robotics is going to be a big sector for sure. Now this one here, let's see, develops, manufactures, deploys, sells robotics solutions for automation in the service industry. Okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, these are kind of like a lot of those worker droids. Did I say droid? Oh, that's funny. But nonetheless, yeah, I think that there's potential. Now, let's pull this up here. And yeah, like, you know, they've had a little bit, yeah, they've been doing good. They're actually doing pretty good. I'm going to go to the back end for a second here. I'm just kind of curious. All right. And all right, well, right now we don't have any real data, but it might be because it's a U.S. stock. A lot of these small U.S. stocks, we don't. Let's actually, you know what? Let's take that over to Yahoo and see if we can get any data here. There we go. All right. All right. Well, we're going to pull it up here. Why is this black? I don't know why. All right. Here's what I'm looking for down here. Let's see here what we got. All right. Okay, so they're not profitable yet. So their return on equity is negative 26.42%. Return on assets are also kind of in the hole here. Their debt to equity ratio, not that bad, 0.75. So yeah, they don't have a lot of debt, but they're still at that point that they're sort of moving towards profitability. So yeah, it'd be interesting to watch to see how that rolls out. And I have a feeling the other two are probably going to be in similar boats. CC says, oh, fudge. OpenAI is restructuring for 2026. That does not surprise me. There's been a little bit of, there's been some concerns. I know there was apparently an interview that Sam Altman left abruptly from because they're questioning him too much on how they were going to make money. So it's interesting to see. I want to read more into that because I have not seen this story. But what is that going to look like? I don't know. I'm hoping it. I mean, I love ChatGPT. I find it incredibly useful. I did download Atlas. That's their new browser. I haven't tried it yet. But I want to see what that's all about. So hopefully it's not too serious. But when you started off with oh fudge, it makes me think uh-oh. But yeah, I'll definitely take a look into that. Michael says, hello again, Candace. The Chilean copper producer Amerigo, which you approved of, is doing well and recently raised its dividend. I do like Amerigo. Yeah, and as I mentioned before, copper, to me, copper's huge. There's already, I believe by 2030, they're predicting a copper shortage. So if you've got a copper mine that has a good source of copper in a politically stable environment, those are good. Those are good to have for sure. Amerigo, I do like. And of course, as you guys know, I like Mary as well. That's another one. So yeah, copper I think is going to be huge. Larry picked up 350,000 shares in ArcelorMittal, may buy more. 1/3 of their market cap is cash and bought back 38% of their own company. Nice. Yeah, that's a problem a lot of companies would like to have. Have the amount of that amount of cash. Oh boy. C Day is down to 18 again, while S Day and Q Day have upped dividends. Okay, interesting. Well, yeah, it's interesting. I'll say this here. You're going to get higher volatility on S Day and Q Day. So I can see those dividends getting upped, while C Day, Canada is not as volatile. So that's probably why. Let's see, 350K on MT. That will give big returns for sure. MT, what's that? Let's take a look here. Whoops. All right. That's a lot to put on one stock. Oh, let's try this just this way now. So MT, so that's M3 Metals, or no? Oh, wait a minute. We're talking about ArcelorMittal. All right. Yeah, because that's the one that Larry was mentioning here. I'm just going to pull things out a little bit here. Yeah, when you look at them, look at them from the 3-year perspective, they've already come along quite a ways for sure. Let's go to their back end for a second here. I'm not getting much data here. Not getting much data on the back end. Maybe I got to go to Yahoo again. I might have to just go to Yahoo again because it is a U.S. stock. Sometimes, like I said, sometimes the U.S. stocks don't do the best on TMX. All right, let's see here. Whoa. All right, let's see. What am I looking for? What I'm looking for is not here. That might be why. That might be why we're... Oh, here it is. All right. Let's see here. So return on equity right now, it's 4.59%. So they're profitable. I like that. And their total debt to equity, 24.32%. So they don't have a lot of debt. It's a little bit, but not a lot. So yeah, I think they're an interesting. I mean, I think they're an interesting company. I do trust Larry's. I do trust Larry quite a bit. So I think there's some chances that this could be an interesting company for sure. Let's see. Patrol says thanks. Let's see, a little tip. Stay away from MicroStrategy and BMNR and Ethereum. Make Tom Lee sweat. It's better yourself to invest the money directly into Bitcoin or XRP instead of giving your money to them. Oh, okay. All right. I do like, I mean, my crypto of choice has always been Bitcoin. It's, it's the flagship. It's the one that I feel is the least risky out of all of them. But XRP, because of the bank adoption, yeah, XRP is a good one too. And I also would throw Solana in there as well, just because a lot of companies are building on Solana opposed to Ethereum. But Ethereum is still good. I mean, all right, Scratch says they did a 14.5x last bull market. Nice, nice. Larry says, I've listened to 5 years of their earnings calls this week. Well, that's really doing your due diligence for sure. Yeah, and considering that's, well, they're what? Earning calls are usually about what, 45 minutes to an hour? So that's up to 5 hours. Pretty good, pretty good. Good job. Absolutely. Guys, we're getting towards the end, so if you got your last minute questions, get them on. It doesn't mean we're leaving right away, but, it just means that I've thrown that down. It's our first step towards the end of the stream. Not necessarily the end per se, but, just noticed my head's right underneath a sign that says toxic person. I'm like, what? I think I'm gonna go back to big screen. I don't want to be a toxic person. Oh boy, that was kind of funny. Let's see. Actually, Larry spent the whole week on ArcelorMittal. Well, maybe, absolutely. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. And we might be closer to the end than I think because I'm running out of coffee. That's kind of that big determining factor for me. Let's see, 40% of my TFSA is in HHIS. Is that too much? I really like HHIS. I will put it out there. Now, this is one of the things I will say for me, diversification-wise, it really depends. So if I'm only investing in single stocks, I usually will limit those to about 5%. But if I'm investing in a stock or an ETF that holds multiple things, for me, 20 to 25% that's my level. So, if you were going to go really high on something, HHIS is not a bad choice. There's a few others in there that would probably be good too. But yeah, I do like HHIS. So the big thing with that, though, is you kind of have to be prepared for when a bear market comes, because when tech decides to fall in a bear market, it can be pretty spectacular, and that will pull that one down big time too. So you have to be kind of prepared for when that happens. But it's not bad. I mean, and right now you're getting a nice income from it as well, so that's pretty good. Now, what I would do though is with 40% of your TFSA being HHIS, I would maybe not reinvest the dividends back into HHIS. I would maybe use them just to add a bit more diversification. Add maybe HHIC or or many others that you could certainly look at adding as well. All right, cheers. Oh, that was a good show. My HYLD just surpassed my CN holdings at 15%. Nice, yeah. Oh, CN, they've just been going down. They've just been going down. All right, Pathfinder. Hey, Candace, how do you think ZOMD is going to do in the next year? All right, let's take a look. All right, we're going to go back. Whoops. Reverse mortgage calculator. No, we want ZOMD. All right, here we go. So zoomed technologies. So this is, once again, this is another stock that is, I'll call them penny adjacent. So 237, and they were a penny stock not that long ago. So quite literally, the beginning of this year, they were a penny stock, but they have improved quite a bit since then. Now, before we go too much deeper, let's just take a quick little look here. So basically, they basically have, let's see, an innovative mobile app platform, integrates numerous global digital media outlets. So basically, it's a unified view of multiple media sources. So yeah, it's an app. It is an app. So I think it has potential. I like aggregate type apps. So any type of app that would let me do multiple things at once. So I'll give you a great example. So when it comes to social media, you may have your Facebook, your X, your, I don't know. Those are the two I'm thinking of. Messenger, Blue, whatever. You may have a whole bunch of them, but if you want to make a post and you have to then go to each of them and do it, that's a lot of time. So for example, there's a thing out there, and now it used to be, the free version used to be fantastic. I don't know if it still is anymore. I haven't used it in a while, but it's called Hootsuite. And you could basically hook up all of your social media to Hootsuite, and then you could make a post, and you could post it to all of them at the same time. So kind of that aggregate thing. So I see a lot of value in that, and I see that with this company here. Now, let's take a quick look at their back end. It's been I know I've looked at them before, but oh yeah, here's their back end. So debt to equity ratio 32%. So yeah, they got a little debt, but not a lot. It's manageable. Return on equity 148.91%. This is a crazy number. Now, it may be inflated. It may be inflated when a company doubles in value in a very short time. And this company's more than doubled. I mean, look, They've gone from 60 cents to, what is it, 2 something? But they've more than doubled. So that could very well be skewing this up a little bit. So, but it's still a strong looking number. So they've got good returns. Everything looks pretty good on it. Now, one thing I'm going to be very interested in, let's just take a look. I want to take a look at one other thing here. We're going to go over to Yahoo for this. Because Yahoo has this piece of data. Whoops. Let's try this again. Maybe if I spell it correctly. Z-O-M. Was it Z-O-M-B? I'm totally messing it up. I'm messing it up. That's fine. All right. Z-O-M. No, it's D. It's D. Z-O-M-D. There we go. All right. All right. Now, let's put a .v in here. See if I get it. I don't have that for whatever reason. Yahoo, it doesn't even see it. They might be too new for them. I don't know. Oh, that's too bad, because I was kind of curious to know. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just take zoomed like this. We'll see if maybe Yahoo is, for whatever reason, listing it kind of weird. Let's try zoomed. Here we go. Here it is. That's what I was looking for. I don't know why it didn't pop up, but that's fine. All right, so yeah, here's their 1 year target. So a lot of the analysts are expecting it to be worth about $4 in a year. So, that's kind of interesting, because right now, let's get back here. So right now you're looking at 237. So that's all. It's not doubling, but that's a good amount of return on this one. So yeah, this one's interesting. It is absolutely interesting for sure. Biggie. Yeah, Biggie's a good one. That's, of course, one of the new Evolve ones. Did you have a chance to look at my picks on Blossom? John. I need you to direct message me so that I have your access to your profile. Oh gosh. You might have messaged me, but not mentioned to me to look at your picks on Blossom. But do that for me, John, and we'll do it next Sunday. Pretty close to, you know what, we'll even start off the show. We'll do it like within the first half hour. If you can just make sure you message me on Blossom. And once again, if you have not, and I know I got a whole bunch of messages this week on Blossom. Let's just see here. I'm going to just drop that link in here one more time. So yeah, send me a direct message. That way there I can just go straight over to your profile, and I want to look at it before. I want to look at it before live, because it's not fair for me to go in and look at your profile without pre-looking at it. Because if you got stuff in there I've never heard of before, I'd like to have that chance just to check out, see what it is. So that way there I can give you a better breakdown. So yeah, we'll do that. If you message me, just message me later today, or or within the next couple of days, and we'll do that next Sunday for you. HYLD is doing well for me, also up 11% so far. Yeah, HYLD has been doing fantastic. Now that they have added, so they've now brought in a few of the Daymax ones into it, so that's going to really help that as well. And we saw the dividend increase, so I like it. All right, I love the divvy. Yeah, dividends are great. Rory, it's good. QQCL is another I'm looking at. Yeah, absolutely. So QQCL, once again, a strong NASDAQ performance with a little bit of leverage in there. So yeah, that's not too bad. Valveman, HBTE has more than doubled, and a dividend increase from 33 to 43 a month. It has. I will say HBTE has been number one in the 0 to 100K challenge for a while now. And spoiler alert, they probably are still number one. Yeah, the total return in the challenge, I will tell you, it is 3 digits. It is 3 digits. So they have broken. They were 90-something% last time. They're over 100 this time. Yeah, I'm loving HBTE. Absolutely. CC, I just want less AI price hype boosting and more valuation corrections for our current top-heavy situation. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole thing. A lot of companies now, they can just pop up, say they're an AI company, and they can get funding like crazy. Like that's one of the bubble. That's one of the very bubble-like characteristics that are happening. But this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that when it comes to AI bubble, I think that I don't see it as a bubble per se, but I see it that a lot of these crazy evaluations, there may be a correction coming opposed to a burst. But for a lot of these companies that have absolutely no value and they're just racking in the money with AI in their title, I think those individually could pop for sure. So it's always good to look at a company, make sure that it has, that it actually is doing something, opposed to just spewing out a bunch of hot air. Let's see. CN is laying off because tariffs cut their traffic. Yeah. A lot of that cross-continental traffic has been cut. So stuff coming from Canada to the U.S., and that's a big chunk for sure. Now their domestic traffic are fine, and their U.S. to U.S. traffic is fine. But yeah, all of that cross-border stuff, yeah, absolutely, that's hurting them for sure. Let's see. They do what I like, under promise and over deliver. I like that too. I like that. Yeah, 400 managers. I heard the same thing. Do you have any possibilities to just check up a little on Fubo to see how it's doing and maybe pre-market because of all the big players starting to buy it? Well, yeah, let's take a look. Let's see here. Whoops, that's not where I wanted to go. I was already here. All right, let's just go over here. Eek. And I'll add it to my list here. Fubo. Here we are. So Fubo right here. Bang. All right, let's take a look down here. All right, so here's Fubo. So obviously, look at this. It looks to me like this might have been the news, perhaps. Look at this big jump. That's pretty cool. They've come back down, but they're doing okay towards the end here. Earnings. Okay, so those will be reported on Monday. So this is going to be interesting to sort of see what happens here with Fubo. But let's see. So yeah, all right. So they are expected to have a little bit of their earnings aren't expected to be super great from here. But let's click on here. Let's see. See, Disney channels go dark on YouTube TV. What is Fubo stock rocketing higher today? And right here, Fubo, Disney's Hulu Plus live TV complete business combination, creating unique customer focused. So yeah, there's a little bit of news in here as well. I'll have to read through. I'm not going to read through it on the air though, but I'll take a look at it. And I've got it here on my thing, so I'll look at it for sure. Larry, Hanwha would be the best buy. However, it's on the Korean market. Okay, fair enough. Patrol, C&Q going to be hot maybe soon? Hot already for me. Yeah, C&Q they've actually, let's just pull it up here. C&Q has been doing a little bit better in the last week or so. They have, normally I end up buying some C&Q each month while it's down, but this month I did not buy any. Now looking at this, it's like, what the heck? But this slide here has stopped. So this is the slide that we were most concerned about, but they have started moving back up again. Not to say, I don't want to make it sound like oil is no longer in trouble. Energy, I think, is still going to struggle a little bit, but it is nice to see some movement back to the upside for sure. All right, Cowboy, with nothing to manage, you can decrease managers. That is true. That is true. A says, hi, Candace. Sorry, missed your starting. Are you pretty close to 10K? We're still, what are we at? 80, 86 something? I think, I'll just refresh it and take a look here. 86.18. So we still got 1,382 to go. All right. So management decision. All the trackings will be laying off too. Yeah, yeah. Makes sense. Less carloads, less wear and tear. Weather, yeah. CNR surprise on earnings up 6 cents for me. Okay. Let's see. My average buy at CN was 150. Didn't sell it. Will hold until I expire. Fair enough. I do like. I mean, I do like. I do like them for sure. Sick. Sick what? I don't know what's sick. All right. I like Perry's run through on his spreadsheet portfolio. All right. So damn, so you bought CN in the 1990s? Yeah, all those splits. Yeah, splits are always fun. That's for sure. Let's see, thinking of picking up some CP this week if it falls below $100 to complement my position in CNR. Yeah, why not? CN wasn't publicly traded until 1995. Let's see, what do you think about telecommunications? T and BCE have fallen about 7 to 10% in the past 2 months. I'm still not super keen on them, but I do see the potential for them to start finally moving up, especially I think 2026 will be a better year for them. With that being said, right now is not a bad place to be dollar cost averaging into telecommunications. I don't see them falling that much further, but I will say, when I said that about Bell, they found a way to fall even further. But I really think we're going to see a little bit better for them in 2026 for sure. Patrol. I'm liking CP to buy more at the moment. I should go big. There we go. Yeah, CP. I like both railroads. I bought some at 101. Could drop to $90. Not worried. I'd buy more for sure. Let's see. The railroads aren't going anywhere, but they may be bought out by an American companies as their dollar is a pass. So it's hard to say. I mean, I do like I like our railroad system. I mean, it is the backbone. It is right now. That is Canada's supply chain backbone. It's so much cheaper to transport by rail than by truck. So, I think they'll be fine. I don't think we'll. I don't. I don't think we would ever give up control of our railroad. I really don't think so. But then again, I never thought we'd sell our gold either. Let's see. CNQ pulls it out at the cheapest. And let's see. Jay, I heard Norfolk Southern and Union Pacific Norway are proposing to merge, and farmers in the U.S. are not happy about it. Union Pacific, they're already pretty darn big, so that could be interesting. Yeah. Prairie, I missed taking position on CNQ on that slide down. Patrol says, I'm an old skater oil field brat. Sorry for my lingo. Don't worry about it. Let's see. I was ready to buy CNQ at 41. Didn't get there. That's the way it always is. Like sometimes you pick that price and it doesn't get there. But I always like it. Sometimes I'll put in a limit buy, and sometimes I'll come back from lunch or something, and it's there. I'm like, yes. Other times it just isn't. Oh well. Xenial, I've been adding to Utes at current levels and more if it dips more. All right. BNSF is a Berkshire company. All right. CNR and up would be one heck of a super merge. Oh, that would be. I don't know if they could ever get that past regulations, though. I mean, when CNR was trying to buy Kansas City Southern, the only reason that CP got them is CNR got blocked because of regulatory issues. So, and Larry says chicken tikka masala and lamb biryani. You're having a pretty good supper. I don't even know what my supper's going to be. I'll have it like once we leave here. I'll have my supper. I don't know what it is. It's something. Rory's always a bridesmaid. Uh-oh. Always fun. All right, guys, we're at the 2-hour mark. This sounds like a good place to end for today. We will be back, of course, on Wednesday. So we got the market close, and then 0 to 100K challenge coming out on Tuesday. Or if you're a channel member, you'll be able to see that tomorrow. And if you're also a channel member, you'll be able to watch my swing trades through this week as well. So that's gonna be fun. All right, guys. Until next time, I will bid you guys a fond farewell. Bye-bye.